Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Visa News Daily and this is your essential resource for the latest updates on UK immigration policy. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that affects many families, the updated UK Indefinite Leave to Remain ILR and immigration rules for children who are outside the UK. The landscape of UK immigration is constantly evolving and recent changes have significant implications for those with children abroad who they hope to bring to the UK to settle permanently. Whether you're a British citizen, a settled person, or on a work visa, understanding these new rules is crucial for your family's future. We'll break down the complexities of these regulations, including eligibility criteria, the application process, and recent updates that could impact your plans. So grab a cup of tea and let's get straight into it. First, let's clarify what Indefinite Leave to Remain, or ILR, actually means. ILR grants an individual the right to live, work and study in the UK without any time restrictions and without needing a visa. It's the stepping stone to British citizenship for many. For children born outside the UK, obtaining ILR is a critical step to securing their future in the country alongside their parents. The UK does not have birthright citizenship, meaning being born in the UK doesn't automatically make you a British citizen. A child's eligibility for ILR heavily depends on the immigration status of their parents. So, what are the specific requirements for a child outside the UK to be granted ILR? The rules can be quite intricate, but here are the main points you need to know. Generally, for a child born and currently residing outside the UK to be eligible for ILR, they must be under the age of 18. If the child is already in the UK on a valid visa, such as a child-dependent visa, they can still apply for ILR even if they are over 18. In such cases, they will typically need to pass the Life in the UK test and an English language test. A crucial factor is the status of the parents. For a successful ILR application for a child outside the UK, both parents must have a permanent right to live in the UK. This permanent right can be in the form of ILR, British citizenship, Irish citizenship with a history of residence in the UK, or settled status under the EU settlement scheme. There is an important exception to this rule. If one parent has permanent residence in the UK and has sole parental responsibility for the child may still be eligible for ILR. Proving sole responsibility can be complex and requires substantial evidence. If neither parent has permanent residence, the child will not be immediately eligible for ILR. Instead, the parents would need to apply for a child-dependent visa for their child based on their own immigration status, for example, a skilled worker visa. After a period of continuous residence in the UK, typically 5 years, the child may then become eligible to apply for ILR. Now that we've covered the eligibility, let's walk through the application process. The application for a child outside the UK is for Indefinite Leave to Enter ILR, which is the equivalent of ILR for those applying from abroad. Here are the essential documents you'll need to gather. Proof of relationship. This includes the child's birth certificate and any other family records. Valid travel documents. The child's current passport is a must. Parents' immigration status. You'll need to provide evidence of your settled status or British citizenship. Financial and accommodation proof. You must demonstrate that you can support your child financially without recourse to public funds and have adequate accommodation for your family in the UK. The financial requirement for a family visa route involves showing an additional annual income of £3,800 for the first child and £2,400 for each subsequent child, on top of the primary applicant's minimum income requirement of £29,000. Proof of sole responsibility, if applicable. This is a critical and often challenging part of the application for single parents. The application is typically done online. The cost for an ILR application is generally around £3,029, but this is subject to change, so always check the latest fees on the official government website. Be prepared for additional costs, such as for translating documents into English or Welsh. Recent changes and what they mean for you. The UK's immigration landscape has seen some significant shifts recently, particularly with the introduction of new rules and a white paper outlining future plans. Let's break down the most relevant updates. The private life route. A significant change that came into effect on July 29, 2025 concerns the private life route. This is particularly good news for children and young adults who have been residing in the UK. While this primarily affects those already in the country, it's an important development to be aware of. The new rules have made corrections to the private life route, especially for children and young adults who might have missed out on previous concessions. For children born in the UK who have lived here continuously for 7 years, there is a possibility to apply for immediate settlement if it is deemed unreasonable for them to leave the UK. For children born abroad, they can apply for settlement after being on a private life or family life route for 5 years. Proposed changes to the qualifying period for ILR. One of the most talked about potential changes is the government's plan to increase the standard qualifying period for ILR from 5 years to 10 years for many visa categories, including work visas. While the government has indicated that family visas are not expected to be affected by this change, it's a development to watch closely. This could mean that if you are on a work visa, your dependent child's path to settlement might also be extended. Stricter English language requirements. The government also plans to introduce stricter English language requirements for most visas. This includes requiring partners of those on work visas to have a basic level of English to qualify for a dependent visa. This could potentially extend to dependent children in the future, so it's something to keep an eye on. As you can see, the rules surrounding ILR for children outside the UK are multifaceted and subject to change. Given the high stakes and the complexity of the process, especially in cases of sole responsibility, seeking professional legal advice is highly recommended. An experienced immigration lawyer can help you navigate the intricate requirements, ensure your application is robust and complete, and represent you in communications with the Home Office. This can significantly increase your chances of a successful outcome and provide peace of mind during what can be a stressful process. Bringing your child to the UK to settle is a life-changing decision, and being well-informed is the first step to a successful journey. The key takeaways are to understand the specific eligibility criteria based on your and your child's circumstances, meticulously prepare your documentation, and stay updated on the latest rule changes. Remember, the path to ILR for a child outside the UK is very much tied to the parent's immigration status. If you are not yet settled, your child will likely need to join you on a dependent visa first and then apply for ILR after completing the required period of residency. For those with children born abroad, once they have obtained ILR and have held it for at least 12 months, they may be eligible to apply for British citizenship. We hope this detailed guide has provided you with a clearer understanding of the UK's ILR and immigration rules for children outside the UK. The journey can be long, but with careful planning and the right information, you can navigate it successfully. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more updates, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our future content. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, but remember, for specific legal advice, it's always best to consult a qualified immigration professional. Until next time, take care and all the best with your immigration journey.